Tikoy, aka Nian Gao, aka Chinese New Year's sweet rice cake, is typically seen in a larger cake form, and it's typically steamed in a pan that's been lined with banana leaves. But today we are going to change things up a bit. So we are gonna take out the banana leaf, we're also gonna steam it in a smaller form, and we're gonna add a few different flavors just to change things up a bit. Let's do it. Okay, so to make tikoy, you're going to need glutinous rice flour. Make sure it's glutinous rice, not just rice flour. Brown sugar, water, some salt, which is optional, and then a few flavored extracts, whichever flavors you want. I'm also gonna include the measurements and the ingredients in the description below for you to check out. Okay, so we're gonna make 3 different flavors. We're gonna start with just the original without any extracts or different flavors added to it. So to start, you need 1 cup of glutinous rice flour in a medium-sized bowl, and then 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar that's been packed into the measuring cup, a pinch of salt. So this is optional, but I do like to add a pinch of salt to any dessert that I create because I feel like it brings out more of their flavors. And then just mix this all up together. I found that mixing it with my hands was actually a lot easier. And finally, 1/2 cup of water, preferably warm water. And then just mix this all up. And when you're done mixing this, there should be a little bit of resistance. It should be kind of like a thick molasses-like consistency. All right, and there's our most basic form of tikoy. So we're gonna set that aside. Now we're gonna start working on our second flavor, and you may have heard of it. It's from the Philippines. It's purple. It's very popular. Do you know it? What is it? Yes, that's right. It's ube. Ube is a purple yam from the Philippines. If you haven't heard of it by now, where have you been? What you're gonna need is the same ingredients as before. 1 cup of glutinous rice flour, 1/4 cup of the dark brown sugar, a pinch of salt, the water, and now we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of ube extract. All right, and then just stir this up, just like the first one. Okay, so that is our ube tikoy. That was simple, right? So for our third flavor, it's kind of got the same color as these walls. It's also widely used in Philippines and Southeast Asian desserts. Starts with P, rhymes with andan. So yeah, we're gonna repeat the same ingredients as the last 2, but this time we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of pandan extract. And again, if you guys wanna find out the type of extracts that I use or any of the cooking tools that I use, go ahead and check out the link in the description below. Okay, so here are the 3 different flavors that we have for our tikoy or Nian Gao. Like I mentioned, this part, we're going to be changing the form of this rice cake from the traditional bigger cake form into a smaller form by using cupcake liners. So I was considering using a rectangle pan that I had, but here's the thing. In Chinese culture, a round or a circle shape is supposed to signify unity, harmony, and wholeness, and I didn't want to mess with that part. So I was like, okay, at least we'll keep it the round shape by using the cupcake liners. All right, so now you're just gonna pour the batter into these cupcake liners, making sure to leave some space at the top because these will puff up a little bit as they steam. Now it's time to steam them. So use whatever you have. I'm using my steamer baskets, and luckily I can steam all of them at one time. And here I already have my pot of boiling water, which is perfect. So I'm just gonna stack the rice cakes on top. And then before you cover this, make sure you put a towel on the lid so that you don't get any condensation droplets onto your rice cakes. It'll take about 45 minutes for them to finish steaming. And what you're looking for is that the rice cakes are fully cooked and firm at the tops. And then after that, you're just gonna let these cool down. So apparently you are supposed to store these for at least 6 hours in the fridge or overnight so they can really firm up. And that's how I normally see it at the store. But if you're impatient like me, maybe we can speed up the whole process by maybe sticking it in the freezer, or you can just stick it in the fridge for like an hour. And since they're smaller, they're gonna cool down a lot quicker anyway. So this is me taking this out of the freezer after putting it in there for about an hour. And as you can see, it's still kind of stretchy. So normally when I see tikoy, it's like really firm, like there's no way you can chew it, but these will have to do for now. If you have the time, go ahead and stick it in there for the 6 hours or more. It'll make your life a lot easier when preparing this. But you can still work with this, it's not impossible. So just use a lot of oil in your hands and then take out the rice cakes from the cupcake liners and then put oil on the knife and then start cutting it up. So now I'm gonna show you guys how my grandma used to show me how to make tikoy. So take 2 eggs and then beat them, kind of like you're making scrambled eggs. And then you're just gonna pop the rice cakes in the egg. I know what you're thinking. You're like, I thought this was supposed to be a dessert. Why are we coating it with egg? Just stick with it. Trust me, it's really, really good. So now take a non-stick pan and then add some oil on it. And then we're literally just gonna pan fry these. Once the pan has heated, add the rice cakes on the pan. And then when you see that one side has started to get kind of brown and crispy, flip it over. Once the other side has browned, take it out, put it on a separate plate, and then repeat the whole process again with the rest of the rice cakes. So the whole idea of pan frying it is, remember, when you have this fully cooled down, it's actually super firm. Like, there's kind of no way you can actually chew through this successfully. So when you pan fry it, it heats it back up and then it gives it back that mochi-like texture. And the best part about the egg is that there's kind of like a thin, crispy coating on the outside. So when you bite through it, you get a nice little crunch almost, and then you get the chewiness of the rice cake. It's so good. Do not skip the egg part. Okay, and then this is actually pretty good on its own. I add less sugar compared to what you would probably get at the stores. But if you want to add a little something extra, you can have some different garnishes. So here I've got black sesame seeds, some kinako powder, which is roasted soybean powder, some peanut butter powder, or just normal peanut powder if you have it, and then some coconut shreds. I'm so sad I couldn't show you the footage. I actually had Doug try this for the very first time, and he loves the crispiness from the egg. So like I said, don't skip the egg, it's so good. Oh man, I just love having tikoy. It totally reminds me of my grandma because she used to make this for us all the time. And so yeah, this method that I'm showing you is totally not the traditional way of doing it, but I hope that it kind of simplified and sped up the process for you. And I hope that you end up making this at home. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat the rest of this for dessert. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell right next to it so that you can get alerted of the flavorful videos that I release on this channel every single week. And with that, I hope to see you back here next week. Bye!